Well, hey, thank you all for being here today. This is another class, how to overcome directed energy weapons. Hold on 1 second. Let me just mute everybody. For this class, we're just going to have a generally open discussion. I want basically to know where people are with the paradigm, how I can better help all of you. I've got things coming down the line. I've got various projects I'm working on. This week was very busy for me, so I didn't have time to bring those projects. So it pushed back what I wanted to talk about this week. What I wanted to talk about was the updated EMF armor. So be on the lookout for that. It's coming this next week. Basically, there's a much better way to build EMF armor than what I presented before. It's the same idea. It's just a different format for it. Basically, I figured out how to do it in mats. And when it's in a mat, you can make a shirt out of it, or like what looks to be literally like a bulletproof armor, like a cop would wear or something like that. I've got one on right now. It's much better than wearing the rings. The rings are still effective, but the mat just fits your body better. Anyway, so that's coming up next week. This week, we're just going to watch these two videos I recently put on the Onionhead Andrew Rumble channel and the YouTube Onionhead Andrew channel. The first one is going to be these, well, actually, let's break it up. What we were talking about right before the recording was how these counterintelligence tactics of breaking into your house works. And I heard about this back in 2017, that people were wearing invisibility cloaks involved in these deep state human neural weapons, human trafficking operation. I did not believe it. The first time I heard it, I did not believe it for a variety of reasons. The guy who was saying it was another survivor of neural weapons, human trafficking. He was very stressed out. I understand now why. He was talking about these people constantly being on his rural property, coming on and off of it from state and federal land that was around him. I can't remember which. It doesn't really matter. Anyways, I heard him say that. I heard him give a very explicit description of his encounter with one of these people where he accidentally decloaked one and they immediately knocked him out. And I didn't believe it until I saw it for myself. I saw it for myself first time, I think it was 2020, and then I saw it a lot when I was traveling. I saw them, they attempted, so this would have been teams of Israelis in, where was that? Yeah, it was Nicaragua right when I arrived, tried to kill me wearing cloaking technology. That's a whole story I don't really want to get into. It's not the point for me talking about that, my story. It's just that I had many experiences with this. There is a man who had accidentally figured out how to record it. And his name is Kenneth Grove. He's a friend of mine. He's also a neuroweapons human trafficking survivor. He wouldn't mind me saying any of this. He's a great guy. He's up in Houghton Lake, Michigan. He recorded this using SANEC, S-A-N-E-C or S-A-N-N-E-C. I can never remember that. So they're very, very cheap camera systems. They're on Amazon. Literally like, I don't know, $200 for like, or $250 for 16 of them. I don't know particularly how he was able to do it so well, besides that he put up the 16 cameras and is religiously checking them. I think it might have something to do with debris in the air, like tree pollen. He lives right next to a bunch of really big pines. I can't remember what they are, like short fir pine, doesn't really matter. But either way, right now we're going to look at this 1 minute video, and then after that, I'll open it up to discussion. Because people, once you see this, it's like you can stop second guessing yourself about the capacity of these people to wear invisibility cloaks and get in and around your property. And with that in mind, I mean,
straight out of Harry Potter.
With that in mind, once you really conceptualize that, it really starts illuminating what's happening in your near environment. And a lot of the chemicals spread on your environment are done by these people. A lot of the food poisonings are done by these people wearing cloaks. I'll get into more of that, what they look like, what their background is, stuff like that. But all NATO forces have been doing this all along the edge of the empire and within the empire for since the 80s, give or take. That's when the technology took off. That's the first time I've seen testimony or heard ex-soldiers talk about it. So I'm going to go ahead with no further ado and play this video. Charlie, can you tell me, can you see this?
All I see is Onionhead Andrew with a smile.
Okay, perfect. That's the video. I'm going to start it. This is only a minute long. Thank you, Charlie. All right, here we go.
Something straight out of Harry Potter or like a David Copperfield, David Blaine trick. This is the Invisibility Shield 2.0 and a real-life cloaking device. If you've ever wanted the power of invisibility, then check this out. It's seriously an amazing shield that packs down small, but goes up to 6 feet, and it looks like a special effect for real life. You can hide multiple people in plain sight for the ultimate surprise party.
Okay, for everyone who didn't just see that, the first part of it was just some like Twitter video, Instagram video, whatever, talking about someone's new invention for an invisibility shield is what they were calling it. And it was just like a piece of what looked to be plexiglass with some sort of grid on it that obscured the image of the person moving behind it. The second part of the video where no one was talking was real footage that Kenneth Grove recorded on his property of people wearing invisibility cloaks. Again, for everyone that didn't see it, it looked a little bit like Predator from, I don't know, Predator 2 or Predator 3. Not quite Predator 1 where it's like the CGI or I think that was CGI, was bad. I don't know what that was actually. Those effects, digital effects of some sort were bad. It was like where the digital effects was a little bit better and you could see something moving, but you could not clearly make out the edges of it. Again, Kenneth Grove figured that out, recorded that. He's not the first person to record it. I've seen videos of the general public recording it by accident, people camping with their trail cams out. Usually they're on right on the edge of federal property or on federal property. I think a lot of what the people wearing these invisibility suits, they're using national parks here in the United States to do their training and abductions and stuff. I think a lot of human trafficking in general is happening using this cloaking techniques. That's a whole nother thing. The people that are utilizing them are commando special forces or trained commando special forces, like however you want to look at that, whether they're formally on the payroll or they're in some private contracting role. Usually it's a private contractor with the background. In my experience traveling, the majority of people that wore the cloaking were ex-military. Almost all of them, actually, just like I was saying, were ex-military, private contractors. And most of those people while I was traveling were Israelis. Here in the States, that's not the case. Obviously, the majority of people wearing the cloaking that I've come across or afterwards or before, they love showing you, right? They love showing you. Once you have an eye for this, you kind of see who does what. But we're Navy, Army, Air Force, maybe Marines too. I don't really know about that, but definitely Navy, Army, Air Force. And I think the majority of people doing it in my general environment here in Northwest United States was Air Force. But again, that's a little bit speculative on my part. The non-speculative part is their ex-military background. The people that wear them, they usually are squat, a little bit shorter for obvious reasons. They need to fit into smaller places so they don't get caught. They're usually fairly strong so that they can hold themselves in awkward positions. And they're usually fairly young because they need to be somewhat fit to move through these environments. Basically, what I mean is, like, if they break into your property and something happens that's out of their control, like, say, a family relative shows up that has key that they're not tracking, stuff like this happens, and they come into the house before the other person can get out, then they need to be able to hold themselves in positions like, say, standing on the back edge of a couch near a wall. And they need to be able to be there for as long as they have to be able to escape. Usually when they do this, though, they have their entrances and exits figured out. Very rarely do they not. It's usually that the entrance is like a front door or back door, some sort of door, and the exit is usually the same, but sometimes windows. In my case, the house I was living at previously, their entrance was garage door, back door, front door, and their exits were upstairs windows and side windows. I lived in a very old house that didn't have screens, and that was about it. So they always had entrances and exits figured out, multiple, in case one of their avenues was blocked because of something that they didn't see coming up happened. And then every time that there was a cloaking activity, the full team of human traffickers, counterintelligence operations would be at work. So it was never just that there was, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe there was once or twice where there was just one guy, off the radar. But usually it was that everything was supporting them during this active operation where they play commando as they poison your food or do whatever bullcrap thing that they're going to do. And a lot of times for people, what they're doing when they break in when you're home is they're implanting you. When they break in when you're not home, usually what they're doing is poisoning food, spreading chemicals, and geofencing your house to better pull nanoparticulate and heavy metal aerosols, synthetic heavy metal compounds, from outside to inside. That's usually roughly what they're doing. There's more complex things. At one point, they broke into my place and they spread a biochemical agent that participated in someone I love's death. All right, so this is no joke. This is very real. These people kill many, many people doing this all over the world, these techniques. It is, Chinese are doing it too. If United States is doing it, China is doing it too. So this isn't just a United States or NATO thing. This is all over the world, and Russians too. There could be a lot more that could be said about this, like how many of these random celebrity deaths where, these people die of overdoses are from somebody wearing an invisibility cloak, or say like Charlie Kirk getting shot. If he truly did get shot, which I'm not even sure if that's the case, maybe it was all staged, I don't know. But if he truly did get shot, the odds of it being an invisibility cloak wearing person will be very, very, very high. If they're doing this to neural weapons, human trafficked people, and also abducting children and people from national parks, then I guarantee, which I know they're doing, I guarantee that they're doing it for these bigger, high-profile things too. I'm reminded, and I'll stop talking about this because you could just rant about this, but there was one in particular that stuck with me. His name was Trevor Moore, I believe. He was a famous comedian. He died a few years ago. He was the Whitest Kids You Know. He was the big guy behind that, the taller, lankier one. If anyone's ever watched that show, or the old skits they used to do on the internet, they had a TV show for a bit. He was one of the only mainstream people that was talking openly about the deep corruption that I don't want to dwell on this too far, but that satanic element to the upper echelon of NATO, primarily government and corporations. He was talking about a lot of that openly and actually making jokes about it on Comedy Central, which is owned by these people. And I thought that was wild, just absolutely wild. Like really funny stuff too, because you can talk about them, but you can't really make fun of them like that. And yet he was. So I was always watching his work. Anyways, he died a few years ago. and he died from falling off a first floor. So he was on the second floor. He only fell a floor, his own house, right, from the patio of his own house. And that just never made sense to me, you know. And it's like there's literally hundreds of examples of deaths like that could have been and probably were orchestrated by people wearing invisibility suits for a bunch of reasons. But again, that was speculative. The Trevor Moore thing, it's always stuck with me. All right, does anyone want to talk about that? We're going to have a more open discussion day. Does anybody have any questions about what I just said? You know, or want to relay their experiences relating to that?
Yeah, Andrew, you said that there are cameras to see and photograph them. Are there kind of also binoculars plus a camera or something so that you can, try to see?
I am not aware of that. It should be that infrared would pick it up, but I know the infrared equipment isn't very good for real-time stuff, and it doesn't give you a lot of definition, probably on purpose, and it's very expensive. But Kenneth Grove, out of Houghton Lake, Michigan, was using very, very cheap cameras, and he was catching them primarily at twilight or dusk.
What is the name of the camera?
It was SANNEC.
Okay. And they're easy to get, I guess.
Yeah, they sell them on Amazon. I think they're $250 or something like that for like a 16-channel one for 16 cameras. They're really cheap.
Okay.
Does anybody else want to talk about their experiences with spooky things like that?
Yes, I do. Hi, Onionhead. This is Regina. I've had, actually, I didn't catch them on video, but I have their voices. I guess they missed one of my cameras when they usually shut my cameras off. I have SD cameras. And they moved out my oven. They had unplugged it, and I know because the clock was blinking and they did not even push it back in all the way. I believe they heavily sprayed the oven. Do you know how I can clean out the oven, or should I even not attempt?
I don't know how you could clean it out. I would imagine using as much alkaline product and then as much acidic product as you can find, and alternating between those should clean it out. But usually what they're spraying is like a modified herbicide or pesticide, which, because when you heat that up, it becomes a synthetic heavy metal compound that aids in the directed energy weapons capacities.
Okay, thank you. I did hear them also say, are you going to spray anywhere else? And the guy said no. Also, I know they are using the heat in my AC, so I've been using space heaters. Do you know what they're, but I hear like it sounds like my heat is on when I wake up in the morning, and I do hear a lady say she's up, and then it shortly shuts down. But my thermostat says everything's on off. Do you know how they're using, it seems like it's coming through the AC vents. Do you know what they're using?
That's such a great comment. Thank you for commenting. During the break-ins, this is one of the things they're doing. They're spraying chemicals, like you noticed, 100%, and then they're geofencing things. So they're putting GPS markers or some sort of geospatial markers on things in your house so that they can better pull and push heavy metal and synthetic heavy metal compounds around. Okay? So that's an aerosol. It's a particulate. It gets in the air. They release it from their houses, their trap houses around you, their cars. Also, it's the it can be potentially in chemtrail form. It is chemtrail pretty much, or nano, whatever you want, aerosol injections, because that's what people, the PC way to say it now. It's controlled and manipulated with directed energy weapons. It can be pushed and pulled. So when you wake up and you hear what appears to be air moving through your vents, even though it's turned off, it is air moving through your vents. They've released chemical and they're moving it, or it's chemical, that's really what it is. That's heavy metal and synthetic heavy metal compounds, and they're moving it through your ducting or whatever your system is. That's how they're getting it into your breathways. And then when you breathe it, it aids in building the nanomachinery at the sites of your implants, making the network that can be polarized with directed energy weapons, sending the electrical charges deep into your body. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you for explaining that. Do you suggest I get the magnet covers for my vents?
Yes, cover your vents. The best thing to do to cover your vents is to use a 3 millimeter thick polyurethane sheeting. All right. If you don't want to buy a full roll of that sheeting, which you can get at Home Depot or any big hardware store for anywhere between $30 to $200, depending on how much you buy, you can get garbage bags. 3 millimeter thick polyurethane garbage bags, trash bags, are the ones they use for outdoor application. I always have those on me specifically for this purpose.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I use those to, if I'm out in public, I use those to secure my food. All right. I never or hardly ever have food on me without it being in one of those plastic bags. The plastic bag protects it from the nanoparticulate aerosol, chemical substrate, whatever you want to call it, being released around me. When you're driving, this is what they're doing. They're releasing this crap around you. When you're at your house, all the time. This is why they're constantly circling you. All right. And this is another big reason why invisibility suit wearing fools come into your property when you are there and when you aren't there, is to facilitate these aerosols reaching your breathways. And that's what they are, by the way. And I don't want to get too ad hominem about this, but they are fools. These are the most brainwashed. They don't deserve your anger or your ire. They are the most brainwashed people you will ever meet. And if they're not brainwashed, they're on drugs. It's like one or the other or both. It's usually both. And heavy alcoholics, meth, that's usually what it is, with an ex-military background.
Thank you. I came in late. What cameras pick up them using the invisible suit?
He got it with Sannec, S-A-N-N-E-C. I believe I could have that spelling wrong slightly. If you Google it, it will definitely pop up the right one. They're very cheap, and you can get them on Amazon and probably other distributors too. Very cheap, though.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Andrew,
Uh-huh.
if you have motion sensors with alarm all over your house, anything that moves should be noticed, I guess, or heard with an alarm. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, you use the, I believe it's ultrasonic motion sensors, the same ones that go off when you enter a store, right? And that should pick up movement. But that being said, what I've noticed is when they eventually identify where they are, they'll trigger them as much as possible so you stop listening to it. So you can get these motion sensors, and you can set them up every few days. You can put them in a different place, like the exact ones you would get at a big hardware store for entrance and exits of a store, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But yeah, and the light sensors, same thing. I know some of you also probably had this experience, but the motion sensor lights, they'll trigger as much as they can, so you start ignoring it. Really though, what they're doing is they're training you so that when they need when they need you to ignore it, you will, which is when they're wearing an invisibility suit. And they are. Every night they can, they will. There is a small team on every single target. On some of us, there's a lot more for various reasons. If they can wear that suit and they can creep around your property, they're bored. They're on drugs. They're on meth. They're on fentanyl. They're going to do it.
Hi, Andrew.
Hello.
I have a quick question for you. Actually, I have a lot, and I will keep it minimal. This is my first time being on here. I'm surrounded. I live in an apartment, and there's dog walkers. The building next to me, it just seems like I can't even open my windows without 20 cameras turning on. I think my biggest question for you is, how are they constantly 24/7 able to blow poison in my face? I do know I just moved into this apartment and I got large rugs, and I noticed that the rugs were billowing up. So I do think that this specific apartment is for targeted individuals, because I'll get a draft like randomly. Like I'll have all my windows closed and I'll get a big draft of cool air. And I've already put like tape over the outlets, aluminum foil over, like the heaters. But they somehow, some way, 24/7 are able to blow something directly into my nose and my mouth. And I will wave and I can feel the really, really cold air. So I know that there's something, and I don't know what it is. I don't know. I've heard of remote neuromonitoring. I'm hearing you talk about the invisible thing. But I've had this question now for 2 years. And when I lay down, as soon as I lay down, they're blowing it somehow, some way directly into my nose.
Yeah, it's with the other. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. The other one we were just talking to, but it's what we were just talking about. And Regina, and it's these directed energy weapons have capacity to push and pull particulate using a wide spectrum, but mostly sound. Actually, believe it or not, you can hear their efforts. A lot of times, not always. It will sound like a jet engine rumble or a train. It's like a train in the distance, but also right next to you. And it's like, how is that always the case? Where's this train sound coming from? Why are these jet engine sounds following me, to my work, my house, whatever? What that is it's acoustic compressionary waves that are, I think, polling primarily, but I'm not sure. One set of frequencies pushes, another set of frequency pulls, and when you're not home, they'll convert your space into, I think the correct term is a kill box, the Vietnam War term for it, where you're being attacked from at least two sides with chemical, aerosol, nanoparticulates, synthetic heavy metal compounds, whatever helps grow the nanotech and irradiates your blood to make the directed energy weapons work more efficiently. And it's always a bit of a mix in my experience.
Okay.
In an apartment, primarily their access comes from shared walls. Mm-hmm. Not always, but usually. Sometimes it comes from the hallway, depending on the apartment. In the summer, you'll feel hot air. In the winter, you'll feel cold air. If you live in a house, it'll be more pronounced.
Okay. Yeah, because I noticed, like, not to be too personal, but I know that the lady above me is very involved. Like, she's slamming down machines anywhere I go. I could go hide in a closet and she slams down a machine, so I'm not sure what it is that she's using upstairs. But I remember you mentioning, I think in a video, about them flushing toilets in the neighboring apartment. And whenever I or my daughter is in the bathroom, she is always flushing the toilet right above me. So I'm wondering if that has anything to do with them pushing, what was it? Was it chemicals that they...
Yeah, it's chemical substrates that act as heavy metals. They're usually synthetic heavy metal compounds. And then it's other stuff too. You know, it's stuff that I don't even know about. I'm not doing it. I'm just experiencing it. But if you have a shared sewer system, then they can dump chemical down the sewer. And when you go to use your drains, or if you don't have your drains plugged, that chemical can come up. So because when water or anything, refuse, goes down the sewer drain, it creates displacement. The material liquid goes down, the air comes up. So if I had a property above you, right, and I wanted to get as much chemical substrate in your apartment as possible, I would be dumping it down the drains on a fairly regular basis, probably like a drip, you know, some sort of machine doing that. And then I would be running water at the same time. And I would be using the various directed energy weapons that are on drone platforms usually, aimed at your drains, wicking this up. So I'm putting it down, I'm putting the chemical down, I'm putting the displacement down, and now the directed energy weapons are wicking it up into your environment. At the same time, I'm releasing, of course, this is not me, this is just me talking as them. Because you got to get in the mindset of these people to really understand, you know, what's going on. It's always far worse until you get in their mindset and you're like, okay, that's actually what's going on. But then I would do it from the floor through pinholes, because I don't want to get caught. And if it's anything large, then you can point to it, so I can't have that. So I'll be doing it through these maybe smaller than pinholes. I'll be doing it through a wide array of those from any shared walls. And then also, if I can, I'll be hitting the outside of your windows so that when you go for relief, opening your windows, more chemical particulate aerosols come in.
Which I do. I'll eventually open up all my windows and I'm like, well, wait, I probably shouldn't be opening my windows. It's like, you just kind of feel like you can't win because you want fresh air. But I'll get the weirdest smells. I mean, they've got all different kinds of, as you know, different smells that are very obvious. Some of them smell very sweet, and it just comes billowing in your bedroom window, and it's just like, oh, what does that smell? Some of them smell just terrible, like a skunk or whatever, and I'm just like, they're so obvious sometimes on when they want you to have your windows open and not open. But this experience that I'm going through is just, as you all are experiencing, is just horrendous. And to try and navigate and try to get back to just some type of a normal life is just, and I'm fairly new, I think, at all this. For me, it's been a couple of years. So your, gosh, all your videos have just been eye-opening for me. The invisible thing, I was like, am I just losing it? Like, the cold air, you know, swirling around you and the blowing poisons in the nose. And I'm like, how are they doing this? And so your videos have been really helpful on trying to figure out, because you can tell they're just so good at what they do. And you can tell they've been doing it for a long time.
It's human trafficking. So if you think about it in the terms that is actually happening, right, there is no normal after this. What the normal you were experiencing was a facade. It was an illusion. And it's not to say that it wasn't real, So I guess maybe not. I didn't say that quite right. But it was a very surface layer understanding of your outer environment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with going through this is what's
Andrew,
really happening.
I want to ask you a question, Andrew.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait just a second, and then you can.
About the human trafficking.
Just wait. Hey, sir, wait 1 second. You'll be next. I promise. Okay.
All right.
Just 1 second. I'll call on you just in a second. This is the reality of what we're experiencing: is neural weapons, human trafficking by people that are, like I was saying earlier, they are. Man, I don't want to get into ad hominem because that's not the point. They are not thinking correctly. They are following orders to the point of their own demise. They are all shooting stars. They've only got so much time on this earth, and during those few years, they're going to be your torturers. They're following orders from your government, wherever you are, and that government in turn following orders from the corporate families that run them. None of it is rational. None of it is sane. There is no going back after you experience it. You just can't. So if you get it in your mindset that it's not normal, but it's part of reality, right? It shouldn't be allowed. You shouldn't like it, right? But at the same time, you can't go backwards. No one's ever going to let you take this understanding to a point of the way it used to be. Then you'll feel much better about your day to day.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I have a daughter, and we've just been through so much. We did the, drive all over the United States. I spent my life savings thinking that I could get to safety. I even went to the White House thinking that, I could make some type of a statement. And it's been a crazy ride. I don't know about any other TIs. I don't know if my situation is any different, but I literally have a bubble on the top of my head with what feels like microchips in it. And I have devices that are behind my ears, and so I did it, Andrew. I shaved my head last night thinking to have that visibility on my head, and I can actually see what my head looks like. And I did that, and it's eye-opening to be able to see what my head looks like after because my targeting is my head, and my left backside, like behind my left arm. And just trying to figure out, I did make the device, which at first, right around my ears was very, as soon as I would zap around my ears, it made my ears numb. So there's definitely devices right around my left ear specifically.
Yeah. Hey, Jackie, real quick. Hold on, sir. Just 1 second. We're finishing up real quick. Jackie, was there anything else specifically?
Yeah. Is there anything I should not put on my head when using the device?
You're talking about the stun gun EMP?
Yes.
Don't put anything that could, don't have copper, don't have metal. Just use it with just the space between, a little bit of air would be the best, but you can press the wire straight up against your head.
Okay.
But yeah, no metal.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks for your comment. Okay. Hey,
I had an important comment to make about, I started getting voice to skull in the mid 2011, and they created a ruckus in my mom's house. She had a beautiful 2-story adobe house in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and they we were based in the middle of their territory, but beyond that, there was already other conductors of this gang stalking targeting me even before Albuquerque, back in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Well, hey, New Mexico is a hot spot for all this stuff because of the military tech that's being developed there. But hey, real quick, here, I know this is your first time. It's the first time I've seen you. We try not to get too far into testimony. I know the previous person was, but that was her first time talking too.
No, so, but I was going to tell her, so my targeting began, legitimately in 2007 when I was at a medical facility, and this doctor looked in my ear with the otoscope, and he injected something in my inner ear.
Yeah, and that's pretty normal implant as far as all this stuff goes. But did you have something specific that, see, the thing about the testimony is that if you're talking specifically about, solutions or, that type of thing, by all means, go for it. But we don't, just to respect everyone's time, we're trying not just to do testimonies. So do you got anything particular?
But you got to have a problem before you can have a solution.
Yeah, we've got solutions. This is your first time here, so I understand that. But here, so I'll give you a quick breakdown. Implants, directed energy weapons, and nanotechnology all work together. If you disable the implants with EMP, with an electromagnetic pulse, and then you wear you wear components that demagnetize your body, which you can go on.
So are you talking about passive shielding or active shielding?
I'm talking about building. So the first part isn't shielding, right? The second part is what people would call shielding, but I call it attenuation because that's really what it is. You're basically building inductors and capacitors and wearing them on your body. Okay. I'm currently wearing one right here. Yeah, it's like
so electronics, though, it goes really deep. Like, I did my research about 10 years ago. I did a lot of research into this, and now, like, because of my traumatic brain injuries, I don't remember all the weird stuff I read about electronic harassment.
Okay, well, so go on Onionhead Andrew on Rumble or YouTube, and I've got a whole bunch of videos about it where you can learn how to build them. It looks more complicated than it is. It's really not. We're talking about copper wire, saran wrap, and metal tape. And you can build one of these devices.
What is this saran tape or whatever?
Saran wrap is plastic wrap. It's what you use to cover your food.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic.
So how is that related to the targeting?
Because you can build yourself an inductor and capacitor that you can wear using metal tape, saran wrap, and copper wire. It's literally that. You can find that material anywhere. If you've got $100, you have more than enough money to build this stuff. But either way, check it out.
Do you have like a model design for your schematic?
Yes, go on Onionhead Andrew on Rumble or YouTube, and it will be called EMF Armor. Something EMF Armor is the title of it. Look it up, okay? But what's best?
What is your website?
It's Onionhead Andrew, so that's one word, on Rumble or YouTube.
What about like Google Chrome?
That's the internet browser you would search, but YouTube and Rumble are where the videos are posted. Okay? Hey, why don't you take my email? You got a pen next to you?
No, I'm sitting on my couch. I feel like I'm really blasted. Like, I've been basted by gang stalkers since 2011.
Yeah, I got you. So if you can take my email down, then you can send me questions, and we can slowly go over a lot of this. Okay? Are you ready to take my email?
Yeah, let me get my notebook. I do have a notebook, a spiral notebook, and a blue ink pen. Let me just grab that right now.
Okay.
No, but they've been torturing me so bad that, like, sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing.
No, I understand. I do. So you're going to get that pen and paper, and then I'm going to give you my email. And then as you've got questions, you're going to ask me, and we're going to go over slowly, step by step, what I'm talking about. Does that sound good?
Okay, I got a pencil. Your name is Andrew.
Yep, the email is ACO hotmail.com.
Oh, so didn't they change Hotmail to Outlook?
Yeah, mine still works though at Hotmail. Okay, hey, what was your name so I can remember you?
Marcus Hopkins.
Marcus, nice to meet you. Send me that email as we're doing this right now, and I'll have you, okay?
So I got ACOL968 at Hotmail.
No, it's ACOLE. Don't forget the E. And then it's 9689.
Oh my gosh. They just like, I've been so tortured, my brother. Like, I've been one of the most tortured humans of all time.
Yeah, I could see that. Okay, so you've got my email. I'm gonna go. We're gonna go here. Okay, you do, and you're gonna look at the Onionhead Andrew on Rumble or YouTube, or just email me, and we'll start going over things. Okay? We can take it nice and slow when there's not a whole bunch of people, because right now there's 30 people listening to us.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that with me. You know, I had to speak up because the woman was saying she had voice to skull and implants in her ears. I've had both of that. I still have implants in my ears.
Yep. I believe you, Marcus. Okay.
So
you got my email?
What she was talking about, like, struck a chord because there's so many people. Someone just came into my house.
Okay, well, hey, Marcus, I'm gonna let you go, all right? And we'll talk soon, okay, buddy?
All right, I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay, thank you. It's good hearing from you. We'll talk soon.
Hey, Moses.
I'll mute you. I'll try to mute him. All right, go ahead, next person.
Hey, I was thinking, Andrew, it's Sandy.
Hey, Sandy.
I bought all that stuff, so I'm ready to do that. I got the metal tape or the aluminum tape, and what I think is wild is just, you know, using the packs and driving that I don't have to zap myself so much, but you know, how in the world or what are they spraying on me that I'm getting whelps when I take my packs off? Can you imagine what's happening to me if I don't have those packs on?
Are you the packs? Is that the capacitor mats?
Yeah.
Well, I see. I've been waiting till you get more experience to tell you what's going on. So this is as good as time as any for anybody else that's at this point. They can aerosolize those nano walkers. I believe that's what's being sprayed upon you. It's more fragile, those nano walkers in the air, than the regular aerosols. So they kind of have to line things up a little bit smarter, although they will try to do it to your house eventually, where they can drift these nano walkers into you. When they hit your body, they can distribute nanomachinery payloads almost instantaneously. That's what the heating has been. It's been on the, yep. So you can literally, you can use magnets to cool yourself, right? If they're in a particular area, you can put the magnets in polarity and then put your body in between those, okay?
Well, I'll need human magnets because they spray me from head to toe. Like when I leave work, I'm on fire, and I've started taking extra clothes to work. So when I start feeling the fire and the burn, I just change clothes. But
you'd be surprised because these nanowalkers are working in conjunction with the other nanomaterials moving through your body. What I mean by that.
Should I always be zapping?
No. It's just that the EMF armor needs to your EMF armor needs to be a little bit stronger. And like I said, using those magnets on, say, like your fingers and polarity will help you much more than you can imagine with this. And then not only that, but there is ways to make this armor more efficient. That, like I said, I've been now dealing with or utilizing for 3 weeks or something, and I was going to publish it this week, mostly for you, because I knew you needed it. But then I'm dealing with new frequencies here, but I got it under control, so it's coming out next week.
Okay, it's crazy. I mean, I think every time I find some relief, they find something new. It's just, I was so happy. I drove around in my car just to fuck with them because nothing was bothering me. That was probably not very smart.
Yeah, that will really piss them off. But hey, do what you want. It feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I also have a electric finger where I flip them off.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
The thing about it is that they're always, and I'm so glad this is exactly one of the things I wanted to talk about, so I'm glad you commented. Sandy is doing a fantastic job working through the paradigm. It's a lot of work, but being free of the weapons, you can really feel the difference of how long you've been irradiated, right?
Mm-hmm.
And being free of them, it's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm like, I pulled it over and got out of my car and I said, it's not working anymore. I think I screamed it actually, because you can feel when the wave hits you. So you know what, like when you said that guy shut his thing off for a second, you can feel what cars have the power that is, even though I'm protected, you could still feel the wave go over you, right?
Yeah, and that's the difference. It goes over you, not in you.
Right.
Yeah.
So I got out of my car and screamed, you need to find something new. I mean, it's just so frustrating, but it's so rewarding. And I felt like, I don't know how freeing I can say it is to be able to not be, my brain feel like it's going to be exploding in my car and crying in my car. So, I'm wearing it all over. I have those Morex cables from my chest all the way down to my middle. And then every single cord that wasn't being used in my office, I cut off the ends. And I wrap my arms with just regular like computer cables, and I sleep like that as well. But then I have all the packs on my ankles and my feet, and I put plastic in there. And
that's exactly where I was 6 months ago. I was doing exactly what you're doing right now, wrapping a bunch of wire around me all over, and then I hadn't figured out the capacitors yet. But what you're going to do this next week, because you got all the material, is you're going to make this better capacitor inductor mat, and you're going to be able to wear it. It's going to cover more area. And then there's going to be other things too that you can do later on. But whenever, and this is for everybody, so I thank you for sharing that, because for everyone else that's here right now and getting hit hard, right? And you're getting hit so hard for so long that it's hard to even imagine how life was before getting hit this hard. Yeah. And when I released from this, starting, I think it was, about 8 months ago now, give or take, 10 months ago, something like that, I cried so much. And sorry if I lose my man card here, but praying, I was like crying, thanking God for all of this. And now when it's crazy, man. It's so crazy. When they change their things they're doing, and they're always changing the things they're doing, it's like they're creating a space on your body, or my body, whoever's body, right? If you're breaking through, this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to create a space of magnetizable part on your body where they can hook back into you, right? Basically where the frequency stops going over you and it starts going back in you. And once it goes back in you, then you get all those symptoms. And it really, when those symptoms start, it feels like it's a terrible feeling. It feels like someone's locked you in a room. I don't even, you'll never see the sun again when you go from being free of it to coming back in. And they're always trying to do that. They're always trying to create that spot on your body using the nanoparticulate, the heavy metals. They're always trying to clump it somewhere to create this magnetic charge that they can pull this frequency into your body, okay? So basically what we're doing here with the paradigm is we're learning a skill, and that's how to keep the frequency moving over us and not into us. And how we do that is by, number one, deactivating the implants. That's the biggest thing anyone can do. And you do want to keep up on that, but you don't have to do it every day. Number two, wearing the demagnetizable electrical components, the DIY components I was talking about a second ago with Sandy. And three, detoxing the nanomachinery. When you do those three things, you're learning a skill. It's tantamount to, a sport like snowboarding or, skiing, something hard, right? Or cooking. It's not like you learn it once, you read the book and you understand it. It's like you read the book, you practice it every day. You understand it more and more and more and more. And right now, to take this metaphor a little bit farther, I am a snowboard instructor, right? There's one, or a ski, whatever, skateboard instructor, something like that. It's really one of those really hard sports, X Games sport type deal. One of you listening is going to be the next Tony Hawk, is going to be the next whatever. A professional athlete is going to take this much farther than I have. But it requires application, all right? And that's why I always tell people, if you can't get anything as far as a stun gun or any EMP device going in your life, then just start buying wire and wrapping it around you so you can start feeling these charges moving around you. Because the faster you start, the faster you're going to learn this practical application. And I am working more on reference materials too. Did you want to say? Go ahead.
Well, what's funny when you start saying that, so when I'm in my car driving, there was one moment I can tell that they are hitting my leg. My leg will get really, really stiff. Like I don't know how to describe it. You can tell that it's in my leg, like the electric has my leg. And so I just started wrapping that leg even more with more electrical wire and more packs, and then I put plastic around my feet as well underneath my shoes, plastic gloves, and I can still feel them hitting it, and it still gets hard, but it's not taking a hold of my whole body, so it's stopping there.
Exactly. And what that is, that's the aerosols that you've breathed getting clumped in that space, and then this is how they hook into you, and then being EMF bombarded, probably with lasers, based off what you've told me at this point. They probably graduated you to 24/7 lasers like they have me.
God, I don't even understand why. What's the point? I mean...
That's a whole nother conversation. It's about the future of society. You know a lot of the answers already. Yeah. It's pretty deep, profound stuff what we're doing here. And that's what I mean is like, this isn't for this information. It's not Onionhead Andrew. That's just a moniker I picked out to help spread it. This information is the fundamental nature of energy in our bodies and how we can control it and how they can control it and how we can counter that, right? All of these things.
It hasn't been easy. I mean, I have, sometimes the first few times I did it, I mean, I had wire falling out of me, mylar, I was crackling so, I mean,
like a snack bag. Yeah, that's what my family calls me. They go, "Oh, look, he sounds like a snack bag."
It's definitely a work in process, and I mean, every day I learn something new, but I don't let it get the best of me. I just keep going and try something new, and then I go, okay, that didn't work, or that's falling out, so I'll wear taller socks to cover them up, or I now wear my jogging pants to work. Thank God I can dress like that. So, it's not pretty, but I don't care. And it's a work in progress. I mean, you just have to feel it. You have to feel your way through it.
Yep. And that's the thing, is you got to give up a lot of what you think is normal. That's why I was saying that earlier to the other person, is that freedom it's a price. It's a price you'll pay every day, all the time.
Sadly.
Well, it's where we are. Better us than this go on forever in the future. And honestly, if it wasn't us, there would be another group of 40 people sitting here talking right now, right?
Yeah, at least this is a solution. I'm so tired of getting on channels and just hear. I mean, I know we're all miserable, and I mean, I've lived through every horrible imaginable thing that you can think of, from car to my home to men, everything. It's you got to get to the point where, okay, we've bitched about it long enough. What can you do to protect yourself? And there's so many people that are stuck, that don't want to move, that don't believe that there is help, and there is help. This stuff does really work. I mean, you might have to I'm covered with it. There are certain places I can't cover myself with it, but.
Well, and the more of us that do it, the longer we do it, the better all of it's going to get. As of right now, it's been primarily me, and I've gotten a little bit of help from people that are mostly dead now. But moving forward, the help's going to come. We're going to start crowdsourcing it. So it's going to go pretty rapidly. We're going to hit a point pretty soon. It's so important that if you're listening to this and you have any desire whatsoever to be free of targeting, you start just with anything. You buy the stun gun. If you don't want to buy the stun gun and make the EMP device, which I suggest everyone do, obviously I've said a million times, then go buy some wire and start wrapping your body in wire. If you don't want to do that because you're embarrassed by it or whatever, go get some charcoal from a fireplace, whatever. Get some charcoal that you can chew on and watch as your symptoms go down. If you don't want to do that, if you don't want to get charcoal, go get some garlic. Same thing, right? Either if you're not going to do the deactivating of implants and you're not going to do the wearables, then you can always detox and chelate your heavy metals in your body. If you do any one of those three things, you'll start to notice a difference. If you do all three of those things, then you'll feel the difference of being free of the weapons and then hooking back into you, or trying to hook back into you. And once you experience that enough, right, you'll develop this skill of keeping them out. And it like I said, I've been here at this point now for 7-8 months of continuously battling these people every day, right? There is no day off. And it took me a long time to get to this point. And to use that metaphor a little bit longer, I am just now at the point of being an instructor. There is going to be, the more people do this, there is going to be a star among us that figures out insane things, solutions that we can't even conceptualize right now. Like when the first skateboard trick was figured out, they were just like jumping, it was like an ollie or something like that. I know this is a bit of an obscure reference, but nowadays, look at these skateboarders. They're jumping like 300 feet in the air doing backflips and stuff. That's how this is going to go. We just need to all keep progressing, or whoever wants to.
The fans help too. I made a bunch of fans and brought them to work, and mysteriously, they're all broken now. Isn't that funny?
Yeah. And so like the fans, that's a great example of what I mean about the backflips. Who would have thought that putting twisted copper and spinning it would be effective to some extent? And it is. So imagine what's going to come next. We have no idea, right? Like I've got some ideas right now I'm working on. I have some idea of how making that idea even more effective. And let's just say in the future, if we build something that's 10 times as effective which I have actually, the rotary spark gap machine, as the copper fans, 10 times effective as the copper fans, so 100 times effective as the copper fans, then we won't need to wield armor at all. All we'll need to do is deactivate implants and detox nanomachinery. And that's what I'm working for. Because if we get to that point, that's smooth sailing. Oh, man, I can't wait.
Yeah, me too. Last night, I mean, this is kind of stupid, but I called to get some food delivered, which probably was a mistake, but I ended up getting some other kind of food, complete different food. It was a complete different restaurant. And then when I tried to get back on the phone, my credit card or my debit card was, they said that I used my debit card too many times, and I couldn't use my debit card. So they're everywhere. They're in my life everywhere.
Yeah, you know what? I know that was someone messing with you, but they actually did you a favor, because normally they poison that food. You know, if they can, they probably couldn't poison it because they didn't have a DoorDasher in the area on payroll. But normally they have a DoorDasher. They have a few for every area that they have got targets in. And all the traffic gets routed through them. They spray the stuff with heavy metals or synthetic heavy pesticides and herbicides usually. You eat it, and for the next day or two, you're out of commission.
Oh, shit.
Geez, even with the wearables, if you would have ate poisoned food, you would have felt it for about 3 hours, 2 hours. But then you would have been fine. Without the wearables, I've been incapacitated for 3 days.
Damn, just from food.
Yep. They actually, I know a person that died from it. I know 2 people that have died from it, eating poisoned food. So they did you a favor by accident. Thanks for talking, Sandy. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for being here.
Okay, hey, so if no one's got more particular comments about the invisibility shielding or cloaking, and the break-ins, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cover another video that I recently made. It's got some insiders talking about how directed energy weapons and nanotech are working together. It's great because a lot of people are like, oh, it's all, sorry, excuse me for making that voice, but a lot of people say it's all directed energy weapons. It's not all directed energy weapons. They just don't know, because they haven't done the research. But these 3 presenters are going to say it in different ways together, that neural weapons and dual-use science technology, or whatever that is, I think that's DUST, is working together. It's basically smart particles. All right, with no further ado, I'm going to share that. It's a 7-minute video. It's not too long, and you don't really need to see it. Hearing it is good enough.
Your brain is a juicy, available target for those who wish to manipulate it. Not just with messages that we've seen, not just with campaigns of psychology, as we know, not just with ways to tinker with your perception, but as a bona fide, non-kinetic target. I can't go into detail, but you've probably read the news about American diplomats in Havana and Guangzhou, China, who have experienced several problems: memory loss, Parkinson's, tremors, etc. That's not science fiction. It's not hocus pocus. It's the result of a very old technology being applied creatively in due circumstances.
And it's not just a question of using neuroimaging and or neurogenetics to...
Okay, I want to jump in right here. You see, he said it's not about just neural, what did he say exactly? Oh, I'll say exactly. So I really want to hammer home this point.
It's not hocus pocus. It's the result of a very old technology.
That's very old technology, is directed energy weapons. Literally have been around since 1920 in some form. That's what a lot of the Nazis, a lot of the things they were developing was directed energy weapons during World War II. After World War II, 50s and 60s, that's when the whole tinfoil hat thing starts. That's when they start aiming these weapons at people. There was embassy workers all the way back then that were reporting being hit with directed energy weapons.
Being applied creatively in due circumstances.
Okay, did you hear what I said? Then the old technology, the directed energy weapon, is being applied new in creative circumstances or something like that. What's the new thing? The new thing has been happening for the last 20 years, 25 years. It is the nanotech, right? Because the nanotech is making conductive pathways within your body. Okay, so now you're going to hear James Giordano say it in his way. Both these guys, by the way, the first guy from Georgetown, Army background, I think, or Navy background, something like that. James Giordano from Georgetown. I can't remember if he was in the enlisted or not. I know he works for the military.
And it's not just a question of using neuroimaging and or neurogenetics to depict what's going on in the brains, literally from the genes to the level of its structure to the expression of its functions. But if I can drift into what appears to be bellicose or military terminology, but to target those things, targets to affect those things, developing improved means and much more stereospecific approaches to accessing the brain, not crudely, but ever more creatively, not just highly invasively, but increasingly non-invasively, utilizing other forms of technology and engineering, such as nanoparticulate matter that we can then...
He literally just said it. He just said it. It could not be more clear for everyone. All right. What we're talking about today is very much understood among that inner circle military think tank people, and that's what Georgetown is. It's Jesuit control. That's a different conversation. But literally, this is him telling you exactly, right? And you know that whole target. That's because he's part of the quote target individual PSYOP. He is part of the neuroweapons human trafficking. They're taking the data from trafficking people like us, and they're feeding it back into these systems to passively target the general public. All right, that's what guys like him are a part of. And regardless of how he personally feels about it, he's doing it.
Create into sensors and transmitters that can be inhaled, ingested, rubbed on, that can then be migrated into the brain to form vast arrays of sensors and transmitters to be able to read information from the living brain and write information into the living brain in real time.
Okay, we're going to go back and we're going to play that again because we were just talking about break-ins and them spraying chemicals and you breathing aerosols, and we're all trying to figure out what that really means. He's literally telling you what that really means right now.
Utilizing other forms of technology and engineering, such as nanoparticulate matter that we can then create into sensors and transmitters that can be inhaled, ingested, rubbed on, that can then be migrated into the brain to form vast arrays of sensors and transmitters to be able to read information from the living brain and write information into the living brain in real time remotely. This is a current project of the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency here in the United States called N-Cubed, Next Generation Non-Invasive Neuromodulation. But wait a minute. If what we're doing is literally taking information, data from the living brain, extracting it in real time, interpreting it, and in those interpretations, imbuing those data with meaning, that's a literal definition for reading. We're reading the functions of the brain, which we call mind. That's mind reading. Because if, in fact, that same technology that allows us to literally read the mind by scanning and interpreting the data we get from the structures and functions of the brain, and the inverse of that is that we can then write into the living brain, that's mind control. We love to think that one of the things that we always do with these types of data are aim them towards the good.
Beyond WMD, I'm arguing for the small d, which are weapons of mass disruption. Okay, and in weapons of mass disruption, we have AI, cyber, neurocognitive, man-made systems. Now, for 1 minute, let me please deliver yet another commercial to you, which is, I've been arguing to our military audiences for a long time that we have to define strategic spaces, and we have to be very aware of those strategic spaces beyond what we're comfortable with. That is nanospace. Of course, we all know about outer space, but nanospace, genomic space, cyberspace, neurospace.
Right there, those 4 things he's listed, he has described the technology sets that are enabling the neural weapons human trafficking. So I'll go back and we'll just listen to that one more time. Because he's trying. This is Robert McCrae, by the way, Georgetown professor. He's dead. He died last year. I think he might have died because he was being a little too open about this, talking about this stuff. So, okay, let's just listen to him one more time, spell it out. Just like James Giordano did, but this is Robert McCrae style. Robert McCrae, by the way, he's the one that coined the term neurostrike. Okay? So, different guy, different set of research than James Giordano, looking at it from different perspective. Robert McCrae is looking at it from the slightly outside in. James Giordano is talking from the inside out.
To be very aware of the strategic spaces beyond what we're comfortable with. That is nanospace. Of course, we all know about outer space, but nanospace, genomic space, cyberspace, neurospace. These are all potential domains of future conflict because they're carvable, identifiable spatial domains of activity. And if you're familiar with the old rock and roll song from Kansas, Dust in the Wind, where I tend to play for a few bars of that, and then I make the argument about dust being dual-use science and technology. Watch out for dust in the wind, because dual-use science and technology is there to curse us as well as bless us. And so...
see, he's saying it as much as he can. And if you can see this video, the guy in the middle is about freaking out that Robert McCrae just said that. But dual-use science, to watch out for dust in the wind. What's he really saying? Read between the lines. He's saying this is coming through chemtrails. I mean, I know that's a bit of a jump, but either way, I'm sorry for interrupting.
We'd be thinking, I come to a close here, we'd be thinking about these things. These ideas are meant to stimulate thought about what the future threat may or may not look like. It may continue to be chemical, biological, nuclear. It may add AI. It may add machine learning. It may add a few other things. But I'm submitting to you for your judgment whether you think the neurocognitive, hybrid, mixtures of different kinds is actually going to happen.
And more recently, I've looked into neurowarfare and Havana syndrome. So that relates to directed energy weapons, and that's kind of the future of war.
It really is. It might have actually been the near past of war as well, right? I mean, it's pretty developed. It's not something that is just futuristic. It's been in the works for a while.
Yeah, I would say it started back in the 1960s when they were looking into directed energy weapons. In particular, they were developing lasers and microwave technology. And yeah, we've come a very long way. And now these weapon systems are getting put into the field. So they are real-world technology and they are operational. However, most of what's publicly known about directed energy weapons is focused on anti-material applications. What's not known is the anti-personnel applications. So that relates to the effects, the bioeffects that these weapon systems could have when they are targeted at people. And obviously there is a problem in terms of the research because of the need of human experimentation.
That's absolutely right. So all these targeted individuals that come forward saying they've been targeted, you can't dismiss that because they need the experimentation to be able to develop it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we know that from MKUltra.
Okay, that's that. It's awesome, isn't it, to hear them all say it like that in their own little piece? It's the same. It's what we already know. Does anyone want to comment on that?
I was listening, but I've been flabbering around with my apartment stuff. So I'm like, I could hear your voices in the background, but I haven't been focused on your call for like the past half hour.
Yeah, that's fine, Marcus. That's fine, Marcus. You don't have to. You can just watch. Nice, Sandy. Does anybody want to comment specifically on that video?
I would like to say that when I was listening, James Giordano speak and the way he expressed himself, I felt that there's something wrong with him psychologically. He's like a psychopath or a sociopath, the way that he expresses himself. You know, it's like he may be a scientist, but he's mentally disturbed, I believe.
Well, I don't, I can't personally comment on that. I look at him and I see a very sad person, but that doesn't mean that you're not right. But I will say this, there is a heavy group of Jesuit-controlled or aligned think tanks doing all of this, going through the military and DARPA. Yeah. And it goes back to that, this isn't against Catholicism, but it goes back to that corporate family, one world order thing. That's why you go anywhere, and you'll deal with this. Not to get too far off topic.
But what I mean is that he seems to be like enjoying something that is harmful, the way that he speaks. Like, there's something wrong about that, about kind of relishing, the things that he explains, that is things that are being done to people, Like,
yeah, I kind of saw that too on the other guy, Armin Krishnan, I think his name is. I think that guy's a dual national Israeli, but I kind of see the same thing on his face too, where it's like there's a little smile behind it.
I think it's a very planned thing that they're rolling out, giving that information out. It's like a theater show. I mean, it's not like he feels guilty and he's letting some of it slip out. It seems like it's very, very planned what they're going to let out in those lectures.
Well, I agree with you on the James Giordano part, but I think Robert McRae was ruffling feathers. I'm not to call him a hero or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I think Robert McRae was ruffling feathers because he died. He died last year. Yeah. And it was like he was saying with the exact right emotional appeal, the exact type of thing people needed to hear. And and the thing is, he wasn't doing it for the general public like James Giordano does, because.
Yeah, I agree. I meant Giordano actually when I said that.
Right. Yeah, Robert McRae, he was presenting to counterintelligence officials, so people within the government that might be parallel to these operations but not know of them. And he was telling them about it, which is a big no-no, right? I mean, I don't really know much more than that, but yeah.
Well, when Giordano, when targeted individuals speak about Giordano, I mean, every single thing I've ever heard, and I've listened to a few of his lectures, I can just tell intuitively that it's planned. It's totally planned what he's saying. And then I did want to ask you if you could just, because I'm not in the chat, if you could just say something about the title of the thing that you just played with the introductory guy.
Yeah, it's on Rumble, and it's or YouTube, and it should be the first video posted on my channel, Onionhead Andrew. It's Insiders Admit Neural Weapons, something like that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, that's from. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted, Andrew, I wanted to make a slide about James Giordano. Like, he's a neuroscientist, and he's like, he's so informed about the neurotechnology. Like, he's one of those people where you could look to him for answers about neuroweapons.
Yeah, that's what they were saying, but they were also saying that they didn't like the way he was presenting his information, and it didn't seem like he was doing it for the benefit of the public. But thank you, Marcus. Was there ritually abused?
Oh yes, hi Andrew, it's Anthony, and I was just wondering if you recognized in that lecture that I forgot the gentleman's name, but he mentioned dust in the wind about 3 times, and anytime that I had this professor, and she said that anytime I repeat myself about anything that I'm lecturing about, it's important. And this guy said dust in the wind about 3 times, I think I counted. Now, that's dual use science and technology. And so I think that he wanted to get across a very important point to us about maybe the spraying and the chemtrails.
Exactly. That's the exact same thought I had about it. He really wanted you to know that the neural weapons were banking on the chemtrails that's fully covering the population. And that's why he was presenting that to counterintelligence people. So these are the people highest up in the military, good and bad. Most of them, sordid histories, but not all of them. Like, he didn't have a sordid history. I looked him fully up. He was about as decent of a person as they can be at that level of the military. But yeah, you're very much right. He said it over and over. Dust, dust, dust.
Yeah. And he was a professor at the University of Nebraska. And
okay, go ahead.
When he coined the term neurostrike, and it was a term that an American like him in the military created. At that time, there was an article in the Washington Times about the Chinese having a weapon that was a neurostrike weapon, and the Washington Times, I guess, was pushed into trying to identify the Chinese as the source of this, when obviously, the United States also has it, because it was named by the United States. It was given the name of this weapon. McRae provided the name. So, they ignored saying, well, not only the Chinese, but we in the United States, we also have this weapon, and we're also using it. So the Washington Times was trying to focus attention on China and kind of not saying that the United States also has this weapon and is also using it.
Because the first time I ever heard that term neurostrike was in a report about the Chinese weapon, neurostrike weapon. So
that's
who was chronologically, was it that gentleman that made up the name neurostrike, or was it the Chinese, to your knowledge?
Robert McRae is credited with it.
Okay.
Right.
So it must have been long before the Chinese started using it. Okay, thank you.
The article was from the Washington Times. They were pushed into writing an article that only talked about China having it, to distract from the attention that weapon that was named by this professor of the United States that we just saw is a weapon that, obviously the United States has and is using, because this U.S. professor gave it a name, So, it was trying to distract people from asking questions about whether the U.S. uses this and has this weapon.
Yeah, and I've presented this information a bunch, but if you travel as a targeted person, and you go outside of the NATO apparatus and you've got a keen eye, if you, like, say, Bolivia, for example, or Nicaragua, there will be, just out of the NATO apparatus, the closest area you can go, there will be Israeli and Chinese people following you, aiming these weapon systems, controlling the drones, releasing the aerosols, all of it, you name it, wearing the invisibility suits, following you around. So on the international level, and again, I know I'm being a broken record, but it's important. It's all connected. The people that are running the American government are married, or their kids are getting married to the people running the Chinese government, to the people running the Israeli government, all with ties back to, or most with ties back to Italy, Switzerland, Germany, France, Great Britain, right? That's the nexus of all of this. But, you know, every single area in the world is connected through these neo-feudalistic holdings of these corporate families who have an army of dual tri-nationals that they dispatch to go after any single person anywhere. We're already in the one world power system right now. And again, if you don't believe me, you just travel yourself. Yeah.
Oh, and you don't have to travel, but even when you're here, even here, it's international.
Great point. Yep, I used to have West Africans straight from Africa involved in my targeting, Nigerians primarily. They were getting shipped in through military service.
Yeah. You know, my dad was a colonel in the Air Force right here in Fort Worth at Carswell Air Force Base, and the biggest thing that he would ever say over and over that sticks in my head, he would say, loose lips sink ships. I mean, so these kind of people that's drilled in their head, you know. So for somebody to get up and start talking, that's you are right, death to them.
Yeah, Robert McRae, yep, that's what I think happened. I think he was targeted with these same weapon systems because he had a heart attack and died.
Well, Andrew, I wanted to mention that there are certain gangs that are way more nefarious and criminal and evil than other people on the planet.
Yep, thank you, Marcus, definitely. Okay, yep, go
Andrew,
ahead.
if you heard the old video where James Giordano teaches this to the West Point Academy or the War College there, he sounds like a psychopath. You know, he really enjoys the harm that is being done to people when he describes this, you know, and he's proud of it. There's something that he's mentally disturbed, you know, I believe.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the Modern Institute of War, I think it was, where the presentation happened. I think it was in 2018. It's off the top of my head. Yeah, I've watched that many, many times. It's a great presentation. If anybody wants to watch this for yourself, I highly recommend you do. You will learn a bunch about it, especially now that we've been talking about the secrets behind it. Once you understand, you know, what we've been talking about here, the paradigm of information, you know, how to overcome these things, then when you watch James Giordano speak, you'll see exactly what he's saying. And when you hear exactly what he's saying, then it really does lend itself to that presumption that he might be a psychopath or a sociopath.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's very disturbing how he speaks then and how he spoke now in this video. Yeah.
And you really, I mean, we're talking about thousands, and I mean, the number of people died from these weapon systems are in the millions. The number of people targeted and died from these weapon systems, like any one of us or our friends or family that have died from these things, are in the thousands. So any way you split this is a terrible, terrible thing. And the nanotech interacting with the ambient weapons, ambient energy systems, weapon systems, whatever you want to call it, is killed. I said this last week, I'll say it again probably, has killed potentially hundreds of millions of people. Heart attacks, strokes, clots, chronic inflammation, organ failure. Anyone that dies of any of these things in Western society, there is a tie to having nanotech in you. How much of a tie is dependent upon the person, how heavy their infection load is, but it would play a part in every death. So however you figure that out, millions and millions and millions of people's death has been influenced by these weapon systems that James Giordano is casually talking about. And back to Robert McRae, well, I said casually is not the right word, but bellicose is the word that he used, and it's accurate. Back to Robert McRae, that's why he was repeating in earnest dust in the wind. Because he wanted to let the people know, the insiders know as best as he could, right? The other counterintelligence officials in the highest federal and state agencies, that they were under the thumb of this too. You're breathing the chemtrail also. And again, that's speculative, but I do believe that's true, as Ritually Abused was stating.
So, Andrew, I have a question to raise. I've been on the TI calls since 2011, and I don't think that chemtrails, like the aerosol in the sky, that doesn't do anything for me.
Okay, I think I know what you're saying, but it does very much play a part. The smart particles, this is part of the paradigm of information I've been presenting. But the smart particles and smart filaments, they're released around you during break-ins. They're put into your car, at night when they can. They are put into your food when they can. And they're also in the chemtrails. These smart particles are they are clumping heavy metals. So basically,
they have smart chemicals, but they have to inject them with the needle, not through the sky.
You can breathe them.
That's wrong. They could fall as soon as they land on your skin. They could penetrate into your skin, into the pores of your skin, and go into your bloodstream and do their job. That's what the MEMS are meant for.
That's exactly right, and that's exactly what Sandy was talking about earlier when she was talking about how she's burning from her head to her toe when they spray her. So we have the practical and the abstract of this.
So, like, when they're being, like, I've been shot with directed energy weapons and voice of skull and neuro weapons. I'm like the total TI. I'm like Sylvester Stallone of the TIs.
Yeah, I believe you. The nanotechnologies are making conductive pathways. Imagine like wires going into your body. That's how that works. Yep.
Yeah,
so it's like
but it's wireless though. So the connectivity the connectivity is wireless, but the electronics have wires inside of them.
The directed energy weapons are hitting the outside of your body, and the conductive pathways by the nanotech, the smart dust and all that, is making wires into your body from the outside to the inside, so that the directed energy weapons can send energy into your brain, your heart. Does that make sense?
They really, did I tell you they killed my mom and my brother and my dad?
Yeah, I believe it.
They killed them on different days or different years, but they've been slow killing me, but actually the past 3 days, so I have like a timeline in my head. The past 3 days they've slowed down their targeting on me. And they got like a new remote control operator.
Yeah, I believe you, Anthony. I do. These nanotechs, do you understand how they fit in?
That was not. That was not me.
I wouldn't call them nanotechs.
Oh,
I would say they're microbots, operators with radio frequency supercomputer.
Well, whatever. If you want to call it a micro robot, that's by all means, that's fine too. But It's making conductive pathways, which is to say like wires that the directed energy weapons are hitting. Okay? All right. Hey, I'm going to go ahead and mute you. Thanks for talking. Sorry about that, Anthony. That was Marcus. I got your guys' names confused.
Yeah, no, Andrew, so do you think more of this neurotechnology is micro scale or nano scale?
I think it's both. That's a great comment. Sometimes it's nano, sometimes it's micro, sometimes the nano builds up into the micro and beyond that. Yeah. Great point.
It can even go. I read this yesterday on there's like atomic level technology that can see, like nerves communicating at the atomic level.
Yeah, there's a potential for that involved too. All right, hey Marcus, I'm going to mute you, okay? Thanks for commenting.
All right, I have a question. Okay, so it's about what you discussed before, but I just wanted to know, in terms of travel with a wearable, what about security checks?
Explain that a little bit better, please.
Like if you have to go to an airport, you're gonna fly, and so what about security?
Yeah, there's no solution as of right now because that copper is going to set off the alarm, but the copper is really, really beneficial. So you don't want to, the copper and the aluminum. So, if you're going to fly, I would put it, I think you can put it in a backpack and put it through security and carry it on that way. But I don't think you'd be able to wear it. I would try that, and then worst case scenario, they have you do a carry-on, and then you might lose it. So sorry.
So one more question. So I want to refer back to the I guess you call it the rotary high voltage device.
Yeah.
That's the one you put together with the fan. So I just wanted to just kind of explain it a little bit because I'm really interested in that one as well. What it really does.
Okay, yeah. So I know she's already using, for everyone that doesn't know, this is a regular call-in expert one, and she's using a high voltage EMP device already, which is a car ignition coil as the high voltage power supply. All right, the rotary spark gap device, what it does is it takes that high voltage power coming from the car ignition coil and it puts it through a fan, and as that fan rotates, it hits many different spark gap points. And at each spark gap point, it sparks. So what happens is that it produces a plasmatic healing field in your near proximity, similar to the device you already have. It produces something that's almost as strong as holding the paddles of the high voltage EMP device by just being near it.
So would you say there's no need to have both?
You should not run both at the same time, unless they're different rooms or something like that. What I like about the paddles, what I like about the high voltage EMP device is that you've got the paddles, right? What I like about the high voltage spark gap machine is that it produces a field around you. Also, it produces ozone, which is beneficial. So in your situation, because you're in an apartment, it would benefit you to build another one and put it into a fan. It's harder to do. It takes a little bit more maintenance, but it really is. It's a heck of a machine. It's a real awesome thing. So as far I know, your capacity to build things, it's something that he could do. just to learn more and get more ideas. So if he has an interest, if he needs a new hobby or something like that, definitely do it. But if you guys are strapped for a cash or time, don't do it.
Thank you. That was good.
Was that a good enough explanation?
Yes, it basically does the same thing as the high voltage EMP.
Yeah, but it does it better in a less directed way, but the paddles do it better in a directed way.
That's it. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's definitely very cool though. Very, very cool thing.
Andrew,
Go ahead.
Can I ask, this is Marcus again.
Uh-huh.
What is your most profound or key issue with the targeting?
The nanotech. By far, it's the nanotech and the heavy metals. The directed energy weapons they'll wash over you if you don't have nanotech and heavy metals underneath your skin. So you get the nanotech and the heavy metals underneath your skin, and then the directed energy weapons work really, really good.
So they need a receiver. So it's like telemetry. You need a transistor and a receiver.
Yep, they work as like, the way I say it is that it's like a backstop. You know, like when you play baseball, there's like a backstop for the baseball.
Yeah. I
it's
played
like
baseball a little bit.
Yep, like the pitcher it's like when they're shooting the directed energy weapons, it's like the pitcher throwing the ball at the mound to the plate.
Yeah.
And people, by the way, this is how you know I'm a man.
And I like your analogy, Nike.
Yeah, it's sports metaphors. That's because we're men. There's a sports metaphor for everything. I'm sorry. Okay, hey, yep, go ahead.
Yeah, Andrew, were you able to take a look at that True Justice document?
Yes, I did. Well, let's talk about this. I meant to call you. I'm sorry. I just got really busy this week, but let's talk about this in the next few days, okay? Send me a text and we'll talk.
Hey, Andrew, I like your dedicated, focused look for the TI community. It really helped us, actually. I remember you from like 10 years ago. We were in the same conference call. And you just have this dedicated, focused look about like targeting is real, like neural weapons are real.
Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate it. You might have me mistaken with someone else, though. I'm gonna go ahead and mute you, Marcus. Okay? Just because we got a few more people, and we're at 5 o'clock. We're at 2 hours, so we've only got about another half an hour before I clock out. It's a long time to talk. Voice can only take so much. Anybody else want to say anything?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, hi. This is the daughter of Jacqueline. My name's Ellie. Hi. I have a question just on where she was talking about the poison that is going into her nose and such. Is there like a particular mask or some kind of protection just from it getting in her nose while she sleeps and stuff?
No, as of right now, unfortunately, you can put copper on fans, twisted copper wire on fans. That helps. It demagnetizes the particulate. And then ozone helps also. It clumps the particulate in the air. But as of right now, we're still figuring out solutions. I've got ideas, though. I just haven't had the money. I'm getting the money, though. I got some donations. Thank you. If you hear this and you donated this last week, I really appreciate it. If you want to donate, on Rumble or YouTube, they're all the donation links below. But I am working on ideas for that.
Okay, thank you.
Andrew, this is Marcus again. I just witnessed you having a hiccup, like a burp. And the perpetrators targeting me have forced hiccups with electrodes in my stomach over 10,000 times.
Yeah, that's very much could be the case, but for me, what it is I'm breathing these aerosols, like I've been talking about, right? These aerosols are being released by various counterintelligence agents, human traffickers that live near me, and I'm breathing it, and it's causing those hiccups. And as I'm talking so much, I'm breathing more of it. That's what's doing it for me.
They put electrodes in my mom and in my body, in my stomach, back in 2016, and their electrodes are still. They remotely force hiccups and burps and vomiting.
Okay, so the I don't doubt that at all. Those electrodes, right?
Yeah,
that's
micro electrodes with radio computer.
That's to help pull that particulate into your mouth and also to electrify your body. Okay, so hey, if you get a stun gun and you put wire on the end of it, right, in a certain configuration, I've got a video I can share with you if you email me. Then you can run that stun gun. Then you can run that stun gun over those areas of where you think you're implanted, and it could potentially make a electromagnetic pulse that could disable it. Okay.
Right. But they could turn off their devices when they know when I'm going to turn the switch on.
Maybe
for an electric wire.
Maybe not. You don't know until you try. Send me an email and I'll start sending you stuff, okay? We'll work on step by step, Marcus. This is part of this.
This is Lynette.
Thank you, Andrew.
You're welcome.
I'm going to mute myself.
Question for you. Do you think them putting, spraying our skies, putting all that stuff up there, that they actually do that for a reason, meaning that they have access to these aerosols to direct them via our little biosensors in our body, and that's how they can direct them to us. But it is coming from the atmosphere, the sky, or whatever.
100%. 100%, Lynette. 100%. What you just said is 100% true and provable. If you move to the country, they'll spray right over you, and it'll be as obvious as day.
So they're and these drones, I see them in the night all the time. So these drones that are, I got like 2 of them I've seen anyway, and I always pray they burn up and they hide from me now. But I truly believe that these drones are shooting it at us, and remember they had put a bunch of drones across the United States, and people were saying they were seeing these. All of a sudden their area would get all fogged up.
Yeah.
And so I believe it's definitely the drones with the payload that are doing this stuff to us. They're spraying this stuff on us, and they put it in the atmosphere, and then here they go. They can direct it right, to you, to our biosensors, and basically our biosensors are tracking devices. Would that be correct?
Oh, geez. Sorry, I lost track of your thought. I was looking at the chat for a second. I'm sorry. Can you repeat the last part? I got everything but the last part.
It just the biosensors basically are the tracking or the way they direct stuff at us. Because we do get a lot of different stuff. I mean, I've got sometimes they'll do like a stinky smell, and I'm like, okay, stinky, just knock it off already. And
so what are you? Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to follow. What are you asking? Are you asking? What are you asking?
So my question is that they definitely are using the drones with the payload of this junk to spray it.
Yes.
And I believe they're around us 24/7. Us anyway. And that's how they're spraying that stuff to us.
So do you think it's
Marcus,
like the NSA or DARPA?
Marcus, it's Lynette's turn. Okay, let Lynette talk, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Go ahead, Lynette.
Yeah, so they're definitely got a payload that's spraying this stuff on us, and it's definitely the drones. Because one time I was in Big Lots, and I kept getting all this chemical. I'm like, what the hell? You know, I'm not home. You know, how are they getting this to me? And like you said, they could have sprayed the sky or whatever, but I didn't see the sky sprayed. But that doesn't mean they didn't. But I go outside, and there's these 2 drones, very low flying drones that were out there that probably were doing it.
Okay, at Big Lots, they most likely released it from a car that drove by you, because they have weaponized cars that release this chemical substrate, whatever. Sometimes it comes out in aerosols from the side or the back or the front. Other times they're just putting particulate in the gas tank, burning it through the gas, and it's being emitted in the exhaust. Both things are true.
Okay, so you're saying they have to have some kind of little storage area, like a car or something, and then the drones are actually directed to you? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying both is true. They're releasing these chemicals from aerosol injections, i.e. chemtrails from drones, and they're also releasing it from ground sources. They're literally, like, heaters can be used, dryers can be used, fireplaces can be used, barbecues can be used. Anything that heats up anything can be used. I've got somebody near me who, when he's cooking his meat, he'll throw this stuff into his barbecue so that it burns. It becomes movable by the directed energy weapons on the drones and gets pushed into my airways. So when I breathe it, I smell it, right? Just like you were talking about, you smell it. Sometimes they put scent on it, sometimes they don't. Usually, by the way, when you're smelling the stinky, it's because they're utilizing the sewers, all right? But either way, that's not always the case. That's usually the case.
I wouldn't doubt it. And one more question. Do you think that there is a frequency that can stop it? Like, I've actually picked up 22,000 hertz frequencies, and I was wondering if that was a frequency that they were beaming it to me, or do you know? Have you ever picked up a frequency that is actually shooting it towards us, and we can block it?
I have seen one resonant frequency that's utilized more than others. That's between 400 and 425 hertz. But that being said, the whole frequency is weaponized. So if they can get this particulate or nanotech, whatever, to resonate, they will do, they'll try to any which way, from gamma rays to extremely low frequency. All has been documented.
No, but beginning with the gamma rays or the alpha waves, what it begins with is the radio waves.
Hey, Marcus, you're just going to have to wait for your turn, okay? You're right. It's radio waves are part of it, though. You're not wrong. Was there anything else, Lynette?
No, that's it, Andrew. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys, we're at 2 hours and 10 minutes. Has anybody got anything else before we close up shop? Any specific things?
I wanted to say, that radio waves are invisible. Like, no one can see the radio waves going everywhere and activating electronics inside of our body.
Yep, and that stuff inside of our body, it's resonating with that nanotech and that heavy metals. That's what I was talking about. Thank you, Marcus. All right, go ahead. Was that Vicky? I can't hear you. Hey, you're being muted for some reason. Or quieted.
So far, I only have the Romex, and until I can do the other things, I should wrap this around. When I wrap it around my body, should it go directly against my skin, or should I put it over my shirt, or should I have a layer of Mylar directly against my skin and then the Romex? Or
that would be the best. The last thing you said would be the best. If you don't have the Mylar, then just wrap it around. It can be touching your skin, or it can be touching your clothes. It's producing a magnetic field, and that magnetic field doesn't have to necessarily conduct, although it would work better near a conductor.
So I just have this. It's like a Mylar, one of those, it's just like a piece of Mylar with the shiny side goes out, yep. Or?
The shiny side is the conductive side. It should have two shiny sides, right?
it's orange on the outside and silver on the inside. It's one of those blanket things, I guess.
Oh, see, that's not great. But either way, you can still use it. You can still use it. Wrap the coil around you first, and then put that mylar over you.
Oh, so I thought you said put so the mylar does not go directly against my skin. The Romex goes directly against my skin, and then cover it with the mylar until I can make the ring that you described.
It would be better to be the way I originally said, where the emergency mylar, the thinner mylar blanket, is in between you and the components. But since you have a mylar blanket that's only conductive on one side, then put that one side, seal yourself with that conductive layer on the inside. Does that make sense?
So put the shiny side on the inside against my skin, and then just wrap.
I got a question, Andrew. Is this passive shielding or active shielding?
It's neither. We're talking about the wearing electrical components, but you got to wait your turn, okay, buddy? You've got to wait your turn.
All right.
Okay. I can just wrap the Romex around directly against my skin, right?
Yes, or you can wear a shirt over it, but for what you have right now, this is how I would do it, exactly like this, okay? Mm-hmm. Put on the Romex first. Keep it, don't strip the wire, it's not necessary. Put the Mylar on over the Romex, then put your sweater or your shirt or whatever on over that.
With the shiny side, the silvery side inside, facing inside?
That's the conductive side.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You want to think in terms of conductivity, right? So like what's electricity going to flow through? Is it going to flow through the orange side or the silver side? It's going to flow through the silver side. So the silver side needs to be interacting with your components that you're wearing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question on detox.
Hold on 1 second. One second. I'll get to you in just 1 second. Vicki, that's a great example of what I was talking about. By just doing what we were talking about right there, you're going to be practicing this skill, all right? And even though it's baby steps, it's practical application of this that's going to move you along.
Okay, one more question. Should I do a few, should I wrap it around a few times or just like one time?
Wrap the Romex around you a bunch of times.
Okay, thank you.
The more the better right now, so you can start to feel the effect.
Yes, okay, thank you.
All right, go ahead, Anonymous.
Okay, next to fasting being the best, are you a fan of juicing and specifically excluding any supplementation, excluding charcoal or any of that, but just juicing whole foods? Are you a fan of that, or do you think that's not effective?
No, it's very effective at the third part of the paradigm. The third part of the paradigm is detoxing nanomachinery and chelating heavy metals. Juicing, if you can get clean, fresh vegetables, you're talking about the best medicine on earth.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, but the bigger thing is to follow the paradigm, right? Deactivate implants, number one. Demagnetize your body with the buildable wearables, like Vicki was talking about, number two. And number three, detoxing nanomachinery and chelating heavy metals, like you were just talking about. When you do 1, 2, and 3 all together, you'll get the most out of it.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question, Andrew, about de-chelating?
Marcus, okay, we're nearing the end today, but you can't keep interrupting, okay? She's almost done, and then you can ask a question, okay? She's almost done. Okay, go ahead. Anonymous, are you done? Okay. Go ahead, Marcus.
I try to keep myself connected, with the humanity and the global earth and God. Like if you believe in God or Jesus Christ, or Ali, but I'm trying to stay connected and not be disrespectful and be myself, because I had a good upbringing by my parents, but my parents were killed by gang stalkers.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it, Marcus. Hey, I'm going to go ahead and mute you again, okay? Thank you, Marcus. Is there anybody else?
Yes, I just have a bizarre question. It's when I wake up in the morning, I see these white lines, but they're really short, and it's all over my house. It's like everywhere. I don't know if it's just an effect because I was sleeping, or is this lasers?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anybody else? We're nearing 2 hours and 20 minutes, so we got about 10 more minutes if we need it.
I have a lot of questions, Andrew. I've been targeted since 2011. And the brutality, like the gang tactics, like they're reprobate gangsters that have targeted me. And
they're human traffickers.
Yeah, you're right. They're human. That's what I was going to ask you about, was like the human trafficking. There is like a national hotline for people being human trafficked, but I don't know how to address them with, like remote technology and not like physically held in someone's basement.
Well, yeah, you can be physically held in some people's basement. People get kidnapped all the time from this stuff. But no, the trafficking hotlines will not help you. The trafficking hotlines actually help control a lot of those victims. They're installed there to make those women that are mostly immigrants be continuously trafficked. Our government is the biggest, United States government, and the powers behind them are the biggest traffickers.
I have roots, like my last name is Hopkins, and I'm related to like the first pilgrims that ever came over to the United States.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't care who the target is. They'll just target certain people and make their hands shake.
Yeah, it's true, Marcus. I believe you. Okay, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and mute you. We're gonna stay on. And hey, Marcus, I'm gonna warn you. Next week, if you come back, if you interrupt, I'm gonna kick you. Okay, I'm gonna kick you out because you interrupted a lot today. I appreciate you coming here for the first time. This is your first time, so this is just a warning. I appreciate you, Marcus. I really do. I understand you've been through a lot, but you cannot be interrupting as much as you have been. Okay. Okay, I appreciate you.
I don't think I was interrupting. I was just asking questions to the teacher.
But I understand, but you were interrupting. Okay, so we got to keep this what is that called, decorum, so that we can all, nobody's time will be wasted. Okay, that's the important part. We can all sit here and talk about terrible things that we've been through and experienced, and we all will a little bit. But we try to keep that to a minimum so we can do practical solutions, and we let everybody talk. So it's just a warning. It's not, I appreciate you being here. I'll see you next week, okay? You'll be back next week, and we'll do this again. Oh, here.
Thank you for the warning. But I've been more targeted than any other human being in the whole planet Earth.
Well, I would... you've probably been targeted a lot, but there's a lot of people here that have got crazy stories. Anyways, it's not a competition. We're trying to break through. Was there anybody else?
Hey, Andrew, I have a quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Sleeping arrangements, I'm getting, I don't know, probably everybody else feels this way. I'm getting probably 4 hours of sleep, and then somehow I'm woke up. Do you recommend anything underneath your bed? Is there should I get metal sheets, or is there anything that I can do that would assist in blocking them?
Hold on 1 second. Hey, Sandy, are you still on?
Yeah, I am.
Can you answer that question for her?
Yeah, sleep in your wearables. I mean, this is happening to me exactly the same thing. And then my hands are numb too if I don't. Anyway, so I asked Andrew the same question. So I take my Mylar cable, and I have like 300 yards, so I don't want to open them all up, but I wrapped my arm last night. I put all my wearables on, and then I have a really thick yoga mat that sometimes I'll sleep on the floor. And now I put the yoga mat in my bed, and I put the Mylar down, and just sleeping in my wearables has let me sleep maybe 6 hours. But,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's uncomfortable, but it's less uncomfortable than, I mean, you get so exhausted that you can sleep with anything on you.
Oh, I've tried everything. I'm like, I'm on an air mattress until I get my furniture, and I'm like, wait, maybe I should deflate one of the air mattresses and put it underneath. And what about a whole bunch of water bottles underneath? You start getting really creative.
So I've done all that. I did. So I slept in my bathroom, and I put Mylar up, and then I took a great big ice chest, and I put ice chests around my head, and that seemed to work. It didn't work near as well as just a Mylar cable, and you can get a pretty good length one for like $20 at Lowe's. So if you are short on money, like I was, and I was in an apartment exactly like that for a while too.
Hold on, Sandy. I think you're mixing things. You mean the Romex cable?
Romex, yeah, Romex cable.
Yeah.
I never know the name.
Which is just wiring. That's just housing wiring. It's the most common wiring you can find at any hardware store. It's for wiring a house, just for, from junction box to junction box.
Also, you could just get regular. Can you hear me? I got a bunch of cables.
Hold on a second.
I got a bunch of computer cables and just wrapped them all around me. That's what I use at work, and they work too.
Yep. Any copper wire will work, but especially when you pair that with the capacitor mats, like Sandy's done. Oh, hey, somebody was asking my name.
Yeah, Andrew. My name's Brandon. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. I've noticed that you have built an EMP yourself, and after watching several YouTube videos and witnessing for myself people effectively building these homemade EMPs, they've all disabled various types of electronics. People have shut down multimeters, displays from their oven, and cell phones right before my very eyes. So the fact is that an EMP has the potential to disable this type of circuitry. I don't know how it would work through the human body, but I've watched portions of your video, and I'm just wondering what type of efficacy you've found when disabling small electronics in your vicinity, because that is a major component to proving that there may be a chance to disable it in the human body.
Brandon, I've answered this question on the Rumble videos in the comments. I don't think it tells you though when I respond, but you've asked this a few times. If you go back and you can see my answer, but I'll tell you right now too. Yes, it works. If you have a smartphone near the stun gun EMP, it'll mess it up.
Right.
If you keep it on there, it could potentially break it. But if you just do it for a second, it'll mess the screen up.
Okay. No, I'm curious because I live in a state that have had difficulty ordering the stun gun due to some kind of, prohibited laws. So I had to order one and get it sent to Arizona, and it's just been a mess trying to get that one component sent to me in the state I live in. But
are you handy? Are you handy?
What's that?
Are you handy?
You mean, in terms of am I capable of constructing this?
Building things.
You say handy?
In general. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's not a problem. I ordered the capacitors. I ordered all the components, the welding, everything.
Okay, hey, perfect. Okay, so if you're having problems getting a stun gun, do the car ignition coil high voltage EMP. It is way, way, way more effective than the stun gun EMP. If you can build it, build it. You're talking about $100 of materials. it's difficult your first time, but nothing about it is hard. It's just a new thing, you know.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Hey, one second,
okay,
Brandon. Excuse me, 1 second, Brandon. Hey, Expert One, are you still on? Are you Expert One? Are you still on? I don't think she's on anymore. Expert One built one, and I just wanted her to tell you real quick about it. Oh, here she is.
Yeah.
Can you tell Brandon about it? The high voltage EMP device?
Okay, so yeah, well, it's actually my husband that built it, but it works really well, and so what I really like about it it works real well, but getting on the vibrating machine, it takes it to a whole nother level, because what I noticed is that if you use the EMP device and you don't vibrate, then you don't get that much result. But if I have a part of my body that's hurting me and I use it on it, then the pain will just be gone.
Okay, so hey, let me fill in a little bit there, Brandon. What she was saying is that just the science behind it is that outside of deactivating the implants, she's using it to break up the heavy metal and nano clumping in her body. And when she gets on a shake plate at the same time, it gets rid of all of her symptoms.
Right. That's fine. I mean, I'm curious what type of results people have had, but ultimately, if it's supposed to disable if it's supposed to disable circuitry, I'm just assuming that, if there's a system within me, it's just a belief that, if I disable one major part to a system, it should shut the whole thing down. That's my aim. I need to do more research. You have to excuse me, I'm outside and it's snowing where I'm at. But
yeah, okay, well, so that's not true. Yeah, please do. Please contact me. Do you have my email?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did get it from somebody. I just recently haven't had a chance to reach out to you as much as I'd like to. I'm going to go back inside. I'm freezing. Thank you so much for taking the call, bud.
Oh yeah, no problem. The implants are a major part of it, but the weapon system can work without it. Just like the directed energy weapons are a huge part of it. But believe it or not, if you've got nanotech in you, like the general public does, there are still outcomes that can be derived from these weapons. So it's all three things.
I haven't done as much research into that area. I've listened to the Dr. Robert Duncan's info, and he seems to be the most informed about this. As far as how the nanotech works, I just don't know enough about it. And as far as I understand, it's a secret matter. It's a top secret matter that the government, conceals. So having access to information that's going to disable this entirely is going to be difficult. I'm not educated in the areas of where these people that develop the technology are. So I know that I'm struggling and working uphill, but the more I can learn, the better. The nanotech part it's just, I haven't really invested much time in trying to learn about that, but I intend to here in the future, because according 2017, I think that's when you said your situation also started. So I understand.
Yeah, it's been a long time. If you want a source on the nanotech part of this that will really, really speed along your knowledge, Clifford Carnicom. It's Clifford Carnicom, and that's C-A-R.
That's all right. I'm not going to be able to.
Okay,
Andrew, I'm not able to remember that right now. I'm just gonna email you, or you email me. That way I can get the name spelled correctly. I'm gonna go inside. I'm so cold right now.
Okay, yeah, go inside.
Thank you so much for taking my call. I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. I'm just gonna finish this thought just for everyone else. Clifford Carnicom.
All right. God bless you, man.
God bless you too. Carnicom Institute. I'm gonna write it down right now in the chat. Is a great source for everyone. He's got 20 years of research about what is being sprayed on us in the chemtrails and what that means in our bodies. Basically, he can actually, what's that word? I always get this, culture nanotech in a Peachtree dish. And geez, right there. That same nanotech cultured in a Peachtree dish is what looks like in our body. I've showed this before on these calls. Maybe we'll go over it again. I mean, we're always going to go over it again, but I'll get these pictures up again so we can have a practical understanding. Okay, so hey, it's 5:32 just happened. If anybody's got any last comments, now is the time. We're going to close up. Okay. All right, go ahead. You got something? All right, that's nobody. It's been a real pleasure to be here with all of you. As always, I really do mean that. For you newcomers, please come back next Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is when we start. That's when we always start. We go over the paradigm, deactivating implants, demagnetizing the body with wearables, and detoxing nanomachinery, or some derivative of that. You know, so that's what we'll always talk about. Like I said, we're less on testimony, more on practical solutions. So if you want some practical solutions, like you've heard today, if you want the only working theory right now to escape or to overcome directed energy weapons, you're in the right place. This is it. There's no one else out here doing what we're doing here. All right? We are breaking through. The more of us that do this, the faster all of this is going to happen. So please come back. I'll be here every Saturday until I won't. And I don't know when that happened, but it's no time soon. So may God have mercy on us, and may God bless us. And again, thank you for so much for being here.
Tweet, tweet, tweet. Tweet, 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 tweet. Ooh, 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 ooh.